Hi Cancer, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot reader, and this, my darlings, is your Sun, Moon and Stars reading for March into April 2020. Now, this is a monthly intuitive reading. It takes a deeper look at your current spiritual path, what's needed for your soul's growth, healing and transformation, and if we've got time, we'll include numerology and astrology. So we're going to look at three distinct areas for you today. First of all, the sun part of your reading, which is the divine masculine, and that's your actions and experiences for the month of March. The second section is the moon section, which is your divine feminine. So what's hidden from your conscious mind, what's beneath the surface, any emotional, intuitive or instinctive responses that you may be having during this time period. And then finally, excuse me, row number 3 is advice on moving forward. So this is April, the first week of April, end of March, first week of April. Advice on moving forward along your path, next steps, and things that you should be considering, okay, and be aware of. Now, I'd like to remind myself of this, actually, that my job as a reader happens now in this moment. So I'm a tarot reader, Reiki Master and Teacher, and it's must practice absolute mindfulness. I must be completely committed to each moment, because each moment is a gift, okay? Now, your job as a viewer is to notice how you respond to what you see, to what you hear, what you feel, and also what you're thinking during this reading. It's your awareness that ultimately increases your awareness and your engagement in your reality. And that is where the wisdom is. That is where the growth is. And that is where the healing is. Okay, my darling, without further ado, I've already shuffled, I've already meditated. I'll shuffle a little bit more on camera and then we'll get started on your reading. Okay, Cancer, there we go. Okay, so the card at the base of your reading is the Justice energy. Now, the card at the base of the reading is the overall energy or the experience or the perspective that you should have over this time period. So this is a positive one because, well, they're all positive. All the tarot cards are positive because they're all experiences. Anyway, I digress. So they're all positive in the sense of, like, this is really positive for you because really it's finally that shift that you've been waiting for. Now, we know how followers, you know, those people that have been with Key Wisdom Tarot, those Cancers that have been here since 2018, since 2019, you know, it's been a tough one, it's been a hard one, there's been a lot of evolution, the evolution of Cancer, and you know, really evolving into your personal power, really evolving into understanding who you are and what makes you who you are. The heaviness of that energy it's quite intense to sort of confront ourselves, if that makes sense. But now the balance is coming in. We have the Justice energy here. So you feel like you've been putting in a lot of effort and not getting anywhere. Now the Justice is coming. If you feel like you've been working hard and no reward, now the Justice is coming. If you feel like you've been treated badly, even though you've been treating other people really well, now the Justice is coming. So justice is that balance, and you will, you know, we talk about it like balance and like it's this sort of karmic thing, this mystery thing, but ultimately we get to 11 because we've been through 8, 9, 10, if that makes sense. So you've been the things that you've done up until now, before now, are the things that help to bring about this balance for you and this justice for you. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the actions and experiences then, shall we, for you, Cancer, in the month of March. And you can look at this week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, but they're all energies coming towards you anyway in March, okay? So we've got the 5 of Pentacles, the Strength card, the 4 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords. Now, if it's any consolation, all the water signs are in a similar, you're all in a similar vein, you're all in a similar sort of energy. And as I said, it's because of your awareness. Now, so we're complementary signs. I'm a Capricorn, you're a Cancer. So Capricorn and Cancer, earth and water, we're complementary signs. And what I really feel is happening now I'm seeing this reading actually for the third one out of the last reading I'm doing. I feel as though you're having a similar experience, so the water signs are having a similar experience this year to what the experience that the earth signs and the Capricorns had last year. And believe me, that was not easy. So I understand I know how intense it is to be woke, if you will, to wake up, to really fully engage with the fullness of your reality, my reality. I know what that feels like because obviously I've had to do it, haven't I? I'm a Reiki Master, so I had to practice mindfulness every single day for how many years? That's how it is. And you're when you see yourself, when you reflect on your behavior, when you notice how you respond, when you notice how you think and what you feel, it can be very overwhelming. But ultimately, that's where we all need to be, and that's where we're all trying to get. So you're in that place where you're still getting there, if that makes sense. You're getting to that place where you understand who you are, what makes you tick. You understand the depths, if you will, of life, the depths of emotions. You get it, you understand it, and you have that feeling. Still maybe in the month of March, but your story's moving on. We've got change here, so we're starting to see how last year is actually now starting to affect and trickle the actions that you take in March. Okay, so we've got first of all the 5 of Pentacles. Now I'm just gonna have a drink. Pentacles energy, where you put your energy and effort in order to manifest security. That's Pentacles energy. Number 5 is the number of change. It's about applying our truth and our power in order to create, in order to shift things, in order to move things. So in this instance, it might be a change in a relationship, or a change in a job, or a change in status in some way. But ultimately, you are learning, or you have learned that say for example, the example just came to my head then. You've learned that you want to start doing things differently, is what I was going to say. That's what you've learned, that you want to start doing things differently. Now, say for example, say for example, you live in a house with your husband or your wife or your partner, and you're always the person that, I don't know, makes the cups of tea in the morning. So you get up out of bed before your partner gets up out of bed, and you always make a cup of tea. And you just do that. You've just always done it. But what it's kind of like, what dawns on you, this is a really strange, like a random example, but what dawns on you is like, this woman never makes me a cup of tea. Like, this man that I live with for 20 years has never made me a cup of tea. I'm not bloody making him a cup of tea anymore. That's an example of the 5 of Pentacles. Now, it seems like a small and trivial example, but actually it isn't, because what it belies, that type of act that we do in our lives, that type of way that we live, the ways that we interact with our partners and with our work colleagues, it's a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. It's not a reflection of the type of person that you are. So people think that if I do generous things, if I do things that are nice for people, then people will think I'm nice. And they don't have that consciously in their mind, but that's what they believe. But actually, how you treat people is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. So if you're somebody that's always doing for everybody else and you don't allow or let people do things for you, that's an issue of around worthiness, like how worthy you feel to be able to sit and lie in bed and have someone bring that. That makes people feel some people feel very uncomfortable. Even as I say that, you'd be like, oh my God, no, I wouldn't let someone just wait on me undone for. I want to be the one, So what I'm saying is, even if the issue or the thing that you want to shift or change seems small, it actually belies something that's within, something that's a deeper meaning. And the thing that's and I'm saying all this because I get that sense, and I forgot we had this card here, because you're in a place now where you are having to use new muscles, these new muscles, strength muscles. Now, strength is this card is the epitome of is the card of karmic cycles. So karmic cycles demand us to be strong, to behave strongly, to act strongly, but they also, I should say, by showing us how strong we can be. So karmic cycles require us to be strong by showing us how strong we can be. So that means that they are challenging. That means that a karmic situation, as any situation that we, so say for example, a karmic situation, marriage is a karmic situation, divorce is a karmic situation, becoming a vegan is a karmic situation. I spoke about becoming a vegan in my last reading. I do not know why. I'm not a vegan, but each to their own. I've got no, obviously I love everyone, so whatever you do, you do. But anyway, I got stuck on this vegan. I'm not doing it again in this video. But they're all karmic, and they're all difficult. And they're all things that show you how great you are and how strong you are. But they're all things that demand you to dig deeper than you've dug previously. That's the energy of the strength card. So you are using, that's why I say it's new muscles. You're using those new muscles, but you're actually doing it. You're actually, as I said, applying your energy differently this month. Even if it seems like a small thing to your partner or to your work colleagues, or, you're always the one, when I was a teacher for 10 years, wasn't I? So, you always have tea back, you always have cups of tea in the, in the break room, whatever, and in the staff room. And, you might be always the same person that buys the tea bags, and you always buy the blooming tea bags every month, and every month everyone says, don't worry, I'll give you the £2 at the end of the week, and everyone always forgets, and you always end up, no more am I buying these bloody tea bags for this lot or this week. They can buy them themselves. Now remember, it seems like a small change, it seems like a small shift, but actually what you're doing by saying that is you're using new muscles. See how karmic it is? It's like you've done it for 5 years, so why suddenly is it an issue now? Because you notice the discomfort, because you're starting to notice, hang on a minute, what I feel matters. That is how karma works, you see. It puts us in situations that are necessary for our growth, healing and transformation. Yeah? So don't think that it's a little thing if you refuse to make the tea or buy the tea bags or whatever it is, for you guys in your life. So actions and experiences coming forward. So this is what you can expect. New karmic energy, new karmic cycles, because you're applying yourself differently. You are thinking differently about yourself. We've got 3 and 4 of swords here. Now 4 is, we have to look at this one really first. Sword energy is, I'll do it in order. Sword energy, our thoughts, our minds, our clarity, our consciousness, our communication, what we say and think, what we allow ourselves to say and think. And what I mean by what we allow ourselves to say and think is the awareness part of it. So awareness is noticing the discomfort. It's annoying that you're always the one who has to buy the bloody tea, or you're always the one doing this and no one else is doing it. And you always do it. And it's always annoyed you, but you've always managed to do it. But with the sword energy, it's about noticing, it's about realising, it's becoming consciously engaged with the fact that this is uncomfortable and I don't want this to happen anymore. Or whatever it is for you. So that's what I mean by awareness. Awareness is one thing to say, yeah, it feels uncomfortable, but it's another thing to say, to with the sword energy, it's about allowing yourself to understand what that means. That's what we get with the sword energy. That's what I mean about what you allow yourself to say and think. Anyway, I digress. So, sword energy. And number 4 is about our foundations, our structures in life, where we come from. So when we get the 4 of Swords, this is why we call it the meditation cards, because it's about where your thoughts are from, where your ideas are from, what are your foundations, how do you think about yourself, and where your thoughts and ideas, and where is it 3, 4, 5. In fact, 2, 3, 4, 5. So definitely new karmic energy, new experiences, you're bringing in new experiences in your life because you're doing things differently. You're doing things differently. You're pulling back your energy from making the tea for other people, and you're going to start to nurture, or whatever you're going to do. It's idiosyncratic. These two, the possibilities are endless with these 2 cards next to each other. This in itself is a portal. You deciding that you are no longer going to make the cups of tea or whatever. It might be that you start doing something. It doesn't mean that you have to stop doing something. But I'm just sense it because I think because it's the 5 of Pentacles, and that's a change in where we apply our energy. That's what it means. It's a change in where we apply our energy. So make of that what you will. But it looks like your emotional foundations have been built on this, of course. Your not emotional foundations, your mental constructs, like how you think about yourself, how you think about this relationship or this situation, has been built on this foundation, which is a 3 of Swords, which is something that's already happened years and years and years ago, or months and months and months ago. Excuse me. That left you thinking disempowered, thinking of yourself as though you do not have power, as though you are not worthy. Something happened which made you think about yourself in a certain way that now, still to this day, limits your belief. What is going on this month is that you are realizing all this. This isn't new. You're not having the experience of someone breaking your heart. You're realizing the impact. You're becoming aware. You're gaining awareness of how these things have affected you. So how applying my energy in this way has affected me. How this new way that I'm applying myself gonna how am I feeling about it? How am I responding to it? This is what you're doing. Noticing how, the example I always use, my mum and dad got divorced when I was a little girl, and so I do no longer believe in commitment. That's an example of 3 of Swords, for example. So it's not, you're becoming aware, you're growing in your awareness, in your ability to engage with your awareness, and your ability to start to move things around, to start to shift and change your fortunes because you're starting to know. So as I always say, after 3, if you don't know, you can't grow. Okay, you need to know before you can move on. Okay, so let's look what's going on beneath the surface. 4 of Wands, King of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, lots of Wands. Now, Wand energy, this is exactly where the Wand energy should be, to be fair, because Wand energy is your life force, your ki, your chi that runs through your body. If you've ever felt excitement, if you've ever felt passion, if you've ever felt fear, if you've ever felt, not fear, nervousness, if you will, trepidation, if you've ever felt anticipation, if you've ever felt desire, that is Wand energy coursing through your body, okay? And, well, subtle energy body. Listen, I'm not digressing any further because I need to get, this video is never going to get uploaded in time. And I told you what number 4 is related to your foundation. So this is you feeling like you understand what you need to make you feel stable, to make you feel strong, to make you feel joyful, powerful. You know, it's like, this is you knowing, understanding what it is you need to feel powerful. It's in this section, so it's in your Divine Feminine section, so it's what's going on beneath the surface, what's hidden from your conscious mind. So even if you can't actively in your brain consciously connect with this energy of the 4 of Wands, shorthand the marriage card, they call it that because it's everything that you need. Everything that you need to feel happy, to feel secure, to feel safe, to feel joy, to feel pleasure, to feel creative. It's having all those things. So they call it the marriage card. It's the shorthand. But the longhand, the long way of looking at it, that's what it tells us. It tells us that you have everything that you need. So you have the you, as in you not have it as in manifested, as in it, there's an energetic understanding of what direction you want to go in. Yeah, of what direction you're being pulled in. There's an understanding, as I said, not necessarily consciously in your mind loudly, but there's an understanding. You have an understanding energetically of the direction that you're moving in. That's what this card represents, and knowing that this is what you need, this direction that you're going in. So, for example, as I said, I'm no longer buying the tea bags for the bloody break room. I'm not doing it. They can bloody buy it themselves, or we have to do it another way because I'm not being responsible. Now, again, it seems like such a small thing, doesn't it? Not buying the tea bags or not making the cup of tea, but actually, it's necessary, because what that statement, making that statement or refusing to make the cup of tea, what it does is it helps to connect you to your personal power. You know, it's linked to your second chakra, the wand energy. It's linked to the sacral chakra. Now, this is your third chakra, which is your power center, if you will. So that's your self-confidence, your self-esteem. It's who you are, and it's you being you in the world, being expressive. It's linked to the sun. But the second chakra, the sacral chakra, it is linked to power, as in like your power in the world, like you wielding it, your ability to connect with that in work and career as well. So that's why it might be to do with work for some of you. Some of you were going to refuse to buy the tea bags. Honest to God, Cancer, because that's just a random example, but I swear to you, if you please refuse to buy the tea bags anymore, I want to know about it in the comments. And I'm going to pin that comment so everyone can see. Anyway, okay. So also what's coming through for you, what's beneath the surface, what's hidden from your conscious mind, is this King of Pentacles energy. So is this actual strength and security? So remember, Pentacles is where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest security. And masculine energy is about taking action. So it's about doing things that ensure our security. Again, ultimately, this card is saying that because it's in this position, in the position of how I feel, what's going on beneath the surface. What's going on beneath the surface is a confidence and an understanding of, I know what to do to feel secure and to manifest security. And as I said, it's a similar message, but in the sense of like, do you know how hard it is to explain what it's like to live my life the way I do? Because the wand energy is something that you feel, like it's a palpable feeling. You will, as I said, if you've ever felt excited when you can't sleep, when you go to bed, you know, when you're going on holiday the next day and you're excited and you can't sleep. You know, when you're a kid and you're going on a school trip and you can't sleep, that feeling of excitement is that thing that you feel physically is it's literally wand energy or Reiki energy, if you will, or life force or chi or ki. And that is something that is not, it's not something that exists in our brains. It doesn't exist in our brains. Like it's not a mental process. It's something that we feel. It's like, it's instinctual, if you will. It's like an instinct. Yeah. It's like a really wise part of ourselves is wand energy. It's one of the oldest parts of us because it's our instincts. So when we were animals if you believe in, I believe in evolution. I'm sorry if you don't, but whatever. Animals have instincts, don't they? They're the oldest part of humans, I believe, that the instinct. So that's why wand energy, Reiki energy is so, I don't know, I just love it. I love it and I love to feel it, but it's hard to explain it. But anyway, you have it. And your instincts are wisdom, but they're not in your brain, in your mind. Whereas the kings and the sword, you're more conscious of, you're aware of it. It's conscious in your mind, but it's in this position of the subconscious. So basically what I'm saying is, you feel, as the month progresses, you're feeling more secure in your choices and decisions, and it reveals, and the fact that you've not made the tea in the morning, the fact that you're refusing to make the tea, the fact that you, whatever it is, however big, however small, you actually feel like, do you know what? I was right to do that. Like, I was right to do that, because what was happening and what you're noticing finally is the discomfort that it was causing you. You're noticing the discomfort of, why is it always bloody me that makes a tea, and not that makes a tea, but that doesn't complain about it, or that doesn't ever ask, or doesn't ever expect it in return. What does that say about me? These are the questions that you're dealing with this month. What does that say about me that I do not even ask or expect somebody else to do how I do them, to treat me how I treat them? What this is you noticing the discomfort. That's what this card represents. It's noticing the discomfort in this issue. This is what you're noticing in this place. I've told you what one energy means. Number 10 is getting to the end of it. You know what number 10 is. So there's no point in belabouring that. But we take on these responsibilities, these roles, these things that we do, this way of feeling about ourselves. This is when we don't allow ourselves to connect with our instincts. This is when we deny people deny their instinct. Listen, I love it. I love how people think that. I love how humans think that we are all brains, that it's all about what goes on in the mind, that you have to think of something consciously, logically, reasonably. And it's like, mate, you ain't got no, if that's how you're going to live your life, it ain't, you invited a lot of karma there, babe, because there's all this stuff that we actually do feel and experience, and you do as well. And when you deny it, so this is you every time you bought those tea bags for the bloody staff room, feeling annoyed every time, but you felt annoyed, but you didn't, in your conscious mind, allow yourself to connect with the feeling of annoyance. You didn't consciously say, oh, I'm annoyed. You just had that little pang, that little ping, that little pang every time you made a cup of tea, every time they didn't give you every time they didn't say thank you, every time they didn't give you the money back. You had that little ping, that little ping, that little ping. Well, now there's 10 of them and you're starting to feel it. You're noticing the discomfort, and it brings in new energy, new karmic cycles. 8 again, 8 of wands. So what you're feeling is more alive, more connected. You're feeling more. You're feeling more. You feel more. Now, when I talk about mindfulness, and I said at the start of the reading, my job is to be mindful. Mindfulness, I probably got it on my social media, actually. Have I got it on my Insta? Mindfulness is, in fact, I'm not online. It's on airplane mode because, anyway, follow Key Wisdom Tarot on social media. And you can see how many followers I've got. More than 1,000, but not as many as I've got on YouTube. I've got like 40,000 on YouTube. I've not got that many on. Anyway, I digress. But mindfulness is about the commitment to the moment, and that means mentally. So in your thought, you've got to be switched on consciously. Physically, so my physical body, how does my physical body respond? And it like in the last reading that I did, that my physical body, one of the cards just started reacting heat-wise. Anyway, so mentally, physically, emotionally. So emotionally, how am I? What's my sense of this? What's my emotional response to this? Like, how does it make my heart feel? And then spiritually. And when I say spiritually, I mean instinctually. So I mean energetically. I mean key, Reiki, wand wise. So there's all those different aspects of life. And those aspects of life they don't just make up my life, my reality. They make up you and every other living thing on this planet is made up of the same. We're all from the same stuff. We're all made up of those 4 elements, if you will. And when you become aware of this, I'm loving this for you, for April. When you become aware of this, it can be, so living mindfully is not easy at first. It's something that you have to, you don't get it all at once, because you'd be on your ass. I'd swear, you'd be on your ass. You need to sort of incrementally, you've got to increase your mental awareness, then you've got to increase your physical awareness, then you've got to increase the energetic, and that's why it's really good to do the training that I did, like the Reiki, becoming a Reiki master, because it helps me to manage and be mindful of everything. So what I'm saying to you is, you're feeling more. You're feeling more. You're noticing more. Allow it. Allow yourself to feel. Commit to what it is you're experiencing, because look at where it's leading you to. You can't see these cards. Let me move them up. We've got the 2 of Wands. We've got the 3, the Empress. We've got the 2 of Cups, and we've got the 10 of Pentacles. This is where you're going to. So allow yourself to notice the discomfort, to respond to it, to notice how your mind is changing the type of new things that you're thinking, the type of new things that you're inspired to try. Oh, I want to try trampolining, or I want to try eating fish, or whatever it is. I don't know. But notice those responses and reactions, because come April, this is end of March, beginning of April, first week of April, look at what we get. What we get is this focus on self, this focus on understanding my emotional and mental foundations, this focus on applying my energy differently to because I'm fed up of always doing the same thing. I'm going to try doing something differently. I ain't always going to be the one to apologise first. No. If he don't want to talk to me, then he's not going to talk to me until he I ain't doing it. I ain't apologising. I ain't doing that. Whatever it is for you as an individual, that shift, that change, what it's done is it brings about this. It brings about new opportunities. It opens a door. That's what it does. It opens a door, one that you're, again, being pulled toward. It's not something you're thinking. It's not conscious in your brain, in your mind, but you feel it. You're like, I don't know, I just feel like it's the right thing. Have you ever said that? I don't know, it just feels right. It just feels like I should go there. It just feels like I should do this. That's one energy. This is you creating opportunity. Number 2 is about commitments, partnerships, duality, okay? They're about committing to something. So this is you deciding to commit to something that you are drawn to. And if you're drawn to it, then it's drawn to you. It means it's right for you. It means it's the direction you should be going in. Again, we've got balance. We've got 2, 2, 2. We've got 2, 3, 4. So we know we've got 2, 2, 2. We know that 2 to 2 means a 6, which is about balance, which is about harmony, which is about love. But it's also 3 2s, which is about expansion. So it's about expanding your spiritual self, expanding your emotional self, expanding your divine masculine to your what's it called? Logic. Conscious self. Blimey, that was hard. I couldn't even remember. So you've got that too. You've got this energy of expansion, learning, but on multiple levels. So when people talk about 3D, 4D, 5D, I don't know, people go to all these Ds. I don't even think they know what they even... But anyway, I'm digressing. People talk about 3D, 4D, 5D, blah, 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 blah. This is you literally being like your reality now. So it's described as the ultimate nature of reality. That's how the Tibetan Book of the Dead describes our lives. The ultimate, or it's not our lives, describes the reasons why we meditate and why we practice mindfulness. The reasons why we practice mindfulness, the reason why we practice Reiki, the reason why we engage in spirituality is to ultimately engage with the ultimate nature of reality. And the ultimate nature of the reality, of your reality, is multifaceted and multidimensional. So yes, we've got things that we can see with our eyes, but we've also got things that we can see. Like, oh my God, I'm getting deep. Anyway, I can't go too deep, but basically this is you. This is you seeing the significance of my new application, how I'm applying my energy. This is you recognizing and understanding and gaining wisdom on why it was important to pull back, or why it was important to shift, or why it was important to notice the discomfort. This is you noticing it. This is you reflecting on it and saying, do you know what, I did well. I'm glad that I stood my ground. I'm glad that I'm glad that I stood my ground. I'm glad that I did what I did. I'm glad that I told them and said what I said and spoke my mind. This is you recognizing finally that your feelings matter, and that you can manifest those in the world, and that they can affect your actions, and that can be something that actually makes you strong, makes you feel strong. That's exactly what, that's like your journey, if you will, over for the next 6 weeks, or like March to April. So then, because look, what you're committing to here is yourself. You're committing to how you feel. Now, if this is love, like if people are talking about love, because we've got love cards, we've got marriage cards, and all that here, so we can have a briefly, if this is love, it might be something in your relationship, as I said. So you're always making the cup of tea, you always walk the dog, or whatever it is. Do what you need to do in that relationship. Like, tell them or don't tell them, shift your energy. You stop being the person to apologize. You stop being the one who walks the dog every week or every day. You stop, whatever, because ultimately what it does is it firms up and strengthens and brings in balance to the relationship. So don't feel like, and that's the thing, like balance. As I said, I'm applying all these energies to you as an individual, but ultimately the soulmate card here, this is you being your own soulmate. This is you listening to your soul. This is you recognizing, oh my gosh, when people talk about souls, It's actually like a real thing. Like when people talk about energy, it's actually real. And the reason you will know that by April is because you'll have felt it for yourself, because you'll be you'll be noticing, responding, acknowledging what you're experiencing in this moment. In the month of March, you'll be noticing the discomfort, and you'll be responding to discomfort in a different way to how you usually respond to the discomfort. And therefore, it brings in new energy. It ignites or reignites something in you. You start to notice, hang on, that's real. Oh my God, like, actually, I told them that I didn't want to buy the tea anymore. And I actually feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. Oh my God, that's what Ruth means by 10 of Wands. Yeah, that is what it means by 10 of Wands. It's real, 10 of Wands. It's real, that weight being lifted off your shoulders. It's a real energy that you feel. And that's like the wand energy. That's the 10 of Wands. So you will notice that by what you do, by noticing how your experiences or how your relationship or your work life is affecting your self-esteem, is affecting what you're doing. It's not affecting your self-esteem necessarily. There's already something there, but how you apply your energy differently teaches you what's there, uncovers what's inside. It shines a light. So I'm no longer buying the tea bags. Shines a light on this. It makes you question, oh my God, why was I always buying the tea bags and not expecting anything back? Why was I always walking the dog and not expecting him to do whatever? Why was I? It opens you up. So you're moving on from the 3D to the 4D, or the 4D to the 5D. I seen this thing of 8D, 9D. I don't know if these people make it up. I mean, listen, I ain't using terms like that if I don't. Listen, all the terms I use, I have spent the last 7 years of my life researching, meditating on, practicing, da-da-da-da-da. So that's what I do. My meditation, my work, key, wisdom, baby. So, final card, what a nice end. You've got the 10 of Pentacles. Manifested abundance. I'll say that again. Manifested abundance. Manifested abundance. Manifested abundance. What that means is you're learning how to manifest, you see. You see, manifestation is all about where you apply your energies. Manifestation is about why you do the things that you do. So I tell you what, if you only make cups of tea for other people because you want other people to make you feel good, I guarantee you now, you ain't ever gonna feel good making those cups of tea. Because your motivation, it's all about your motivation. However, you walk into work and you see one of your colleagues is a bit head down, a bit sad. You're in a bit of a rush because you've got a meeting yourself, but you think, you know what, I'll just make her a quick cup of tea. You'll never see anyone more grateful, you know. She'll be grateful to you. She'll be, oh my God, baby, you'll be so grateful. You really helped me. That will make you feel so good about yourself. Do you know why? Because it's the motivation that manifests the blessing. The motivation manifests a blessing. So whatever motivates your action, that's what you manifest in return, if that makes sense. And for you, we've got manifested wealth, we've got manifested abundance, we've got happiness, we've got security here. Now, I'm going to stop because otherwise I'll be here all day. I hope you like that reading, my darlings. Do not forget to watch your moon signs, your rising signs, your Venus signs for the other readings, because they are very in-depth and they can give you so much information about how to navigate your life path over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Your love story from mid-Feb to mid-March is still available. Your mid-March to mid-April love story will be uploaded in the middle of March, of course. Don't forget, you can follow Key Wisdom Tarot. Now I've finished reading, I can actually put my Instagram on so you can see that I am not just... see, I turn it off because my phone's always on Do Not Disturb. And who does the blooming... Why do people do Bluetooth? I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, so this is Key Wisdom Tarot on... what's it called? What's this thing called? Instagram. So you can follow Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram. You can see all these amazing posts, what we talk... Oh, Tibetan Book of... Oh, that was a good one, that, you know. See, you miss out on all this stuff on here. You see, you miss out on all this stuff. So look at this one, repeating numbers. Oh, yeah, see, 22222. Love, commitment, intuition, relationships, balance, good health and well-being. Get yourself on Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram so you can see, look at this, Nirvana and awareness. See? Oh gosh, sorry. Anyway, so get on Key Wisdom Tarot. Follow Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media. Now, the next work I'm going to be doing is next week. You're going to get a brand new reading. It's called Tarot Therapy. I'm so excited about it because it's applying tarot in the way that I want to use it, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy to share that with you. So click the bell for notifications and subscribe. I'll be doing a little preview video sometime next week. Okay, my darling Cancers. I hope you have a wonderful, grounded, strong, connected March into April. You are in a place where you're understanding where you apply your energy matters. If I apply my energy differently, I get a different outcome. But it also makes you question, why did I apply my energy in that way? This is good. It's opening up the path to your awareness even further, your 4D, 5D, 6D, 9D, whatever, how many dimensions it is. Your awareness is opening up this month, and I'm really happy and excited for you, Cancer, because it's a beautiful journey. I promise you. I walked it last year and it nearly killed me, but I'm obviously being dramatic, but I'm still here and I'm happy and I'm smiling. Okay, my darlings, I'm going. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful 6 weeks, darling. Wonderful March, wonderful April. I'll see you all again next week with a brand new reading. Take care, Cancer. Bye.